I think few people have already started coming in.
All right.
Okay, let's start because more people will, sort of keep on joining in. But in the meantime, we can just start with all of us here. Thank you so much for joining today's session. As you might be aware that today's session will talk about the essential skills in tech, like the essential skills for techies in 2024, and what are the in-demand technologies that you should be on your radar. So, like, we will be discussing a little bit about the current state of the tech industry, exploring, what kind of programming languages, tools, frameworks you should be learning for your career growth. We will also touch upon a little bit into AI and the role of AI in the industry right now, and some resources, useful resources, if for your learning journey. So, for this, I'm quite happy to welcome Aditya Sharma. He is currently the lead engineer associated with Naukri.com, and he will be taking us through the topic. I will be keeping a track of the questions that you guys post in, and we will take them up at the end of the presentation. So there is a Q&A box that you can see. Kindly post the questions in there so that we have them collated in one place. So yeah, without any further delay, Aditya, please begin.
Yeah, thanks Niharika for that introduction. And hi everyone, thanks for joining in for this session around essential skills, in tech industry. And what is the future around the skills which are required to survive in this industry. So first we can talk about the current state of tech industry. So we are right now, I would say that bouncing back from the hiring winters and layoffs. There have been a lot of companies laying off employees in 2022 and 2023. So we are right now bouncing back, and there have been enough job posting, and but we have noticed that there is a dip in the average packages. But say given that, despite that, there are a lot of startups which are up and coming in recent times, and they are giving really good packages because they are well funded. And today, as it happens, that today is a national startup day. So let's talk a bit about startups in India. So in 2023, around $7 billion went into funding the startups. And if you kind of compare MNCs and startups, then you might say that MNCs provide us with a bit of a job security, wherever, however, startups give us kind of a better package and know a lot of learning opportunities because they are well funded, right? So next we can talk about the popularity of generative AI. In 2023, it was the most talked about topic in Silicon Valley, and a lot of startups and companies have come around this particular technology. It really increased the productivity of a lot of people, and new roles are emerging around this. New job roles and titles are getting created in this sector. So we'll talk about this generative AI impact on the current uh, industry on the ground level, right? So here I have a chart with me. You can see that there is a growing curve around the change in the tech industry, right? After a couple of years, there's a disruptive technology which comes into picture. For example, in 2004, if I may say, Facebook, Instagram, etc. came in picture, and in last year, ChatGPT was the hero. And five there are, if we talk about the 100 million user number, it took ChatGPT around only 2 months to reach that reach that step. However, Facebook and Instagram took around 2.5 years to reach 100 million active users per month. So that is also a very big milestone which we can discuss. Next, we have that the tech industry changes a lot, right? Because there are a lot of disruptive forces involved. So we as stakeholders in this industry, it is our responsibility to be kept up to date with the latest trends in the industry, And some of the hot sectors I have listed here are data science, artificial intelligence, cyber security, and software development. So all of these are very high paying jobs as of now. Data science is around analysis of a lot of large data and driving results from that. Artificial intelligence is about making your job and making your job and work easy, by relying on technology. And cybersecurity is around you know making sure that your systems and your servers are secure from external threats and hackers. And of course, software development, as we all know, is about making new products which will improve our users' life in day to day. So let's now talk about the trending tech stacks. So the I only say trending because these tech stacks change every half a decade, right? And before creating any kind of product, you have to make sure that you are working on the right tech stack, right? So depending on your use case, your tech stack may vary. So I've listed here some of the most common tech stacks which are being used in the industry. And these are some of the major ones, like MERN and MEAN. So MERN basically stands for MongoDB for databases, and Express.js for front end uh, uh, web development, back end web development. And then there is React.js, and then Node.js for providing us the runtime environment. So the difference between MERN and MEAN is just R is replaced with the A, as you can see. So React Native is replaced with the Angular.js, and everything else is similar. React Native is a bit more faster and uses virtual DOM, whereas Angular JS uses real time DOM, right? And Angular JS is based on TypeScript, whereas React Native is based on JavaScript. Next, we have Java. So it is one of the most used programming languages in the industry right now. Almost every MNC which was established in the early 2000s used this particular technology because it is robust and secure and has a great community. If you are facing any kind of problem while coding in Java, so there is a high chance that someone else also face the same problem, and you will get the solution for that from your community. So it has a really strong community and very rooted language, and it is here to stay for a longer period of time. Next, we have Python and Django, which came into picture in the last decade, and a lot of people are using it nowadays. So Django is this can be used, for example, in a website which publishes blogs. So Django basically is a templating engine provider where you can give real time and dynamic information, and it will render it for you in a very interactive manner. So that's there. And then React Native is one of the major language which came into picture for app development. It was introduced by Facebook, and of course Facebook is made using this particular language, and you only have to write your code once for both iOS and Android platforms. So that is also really helpful, and it you know there is no need for having two teams in your companies to work on iOS and Android. You can have only one team which works on React Native, and both your applications will run on these platforms. Next, we have serverless. So serverless is pretty new, and it is being used by many startups. So in this, basically the concept is that you are using function as a service. Now most of you could be using Geeks for Geeks or Code Forces and lead code for your competitive programming. Suppose that you are writing all those functions, and those are getting deployed in real time on servers, and you don't need to worry about the scalability of them, the security, and the API calls. You don't need to worry about anything. So that is what serverless offers you. So the examples are like AWS, Amazon Web Services, Azure, and Google Cloud Services. So these are all the services which provide you with this architecture. So this is really if you want to get things running in a really fast manner, then serverless is the way to go, because you don't need to worry about the setup of the complete architecture. You just need to worry about the code and what that code is doing, and the rest will be handled by the service provider like AWS. So function as a service is basically the concept on which serverless architecture is based. Next, we have distributed computing. So this is again one of the field in computer science where the concept is around parallel processing, and each computer can be connected with a lot of computers. And if there is one particular job, that job can be broken into a separate task, and each computer is performing their own task, and they are communicating with each other. So this is how distributed computing works, and there are a lot of benefits to it, and a lot of companies right now are emphasizing on using distributed computing as it saves their resources, because each node can share resources, and scalability is also very easy. You just add one more node, or if I may say one more computer in the network, and it will start handling your system. It is very reliable. In case one of the node fails, the other node can handle that particular request, and your request won't go unnoticed, and the job will be done, right. And it is also very flexible. You can configure and change the settings of each node according to your use case. So it is something that you should look into and study it in depth, because this is something which is being used by a lot of companies and is required in the industry right now, because it solves a lot of current problems, right. So when we talk about skills to thrive in tech industry, we should also mention the soft skills, right? Because otherwise, if you are doing a lot of coding and it is you are not communicating it to the leadership, to the management, then what is the end result of it? Right. So you have to enhance your interpersonal skills and convey your ideas in a fashion that you are listened by people. Also, you should be an active listener and focus and understand how people are telling you about a requirement, and you have to respond in a thoughtful manner. For example, let's say that you are facing some problem, and you approach your senior. Now there are two scenarios which could happen. Either you gave in your complete 100% effort into solving that problem yourself, and after that you went to your senior to ask for the solution, or you, as soon as you experienced that problem, you went to your senior and asked for the solution for this problem. So both these scenarios are very different with each other, because the impression it gives on your senior is that you are there to make his job easier, not the other way around. So these things are very important when you jump into the industry. As much as your hard skills like coding and all is important, soft skills are as much as important as hard skills, if not more, I mean. Next, we can talk about generative AI and the impact it is having in the industry on a ground level, right? So in 2023, as I said, it is the most talked about thing, right? It is the belly of the ball, and from both the angles, if you see about new companies which are coming up like startups, they are revolving around AI and generative AI. All the use cases have some touch of Gen AI in them. And even if you talk about the existing companies, they are creating a dedicated team for AI, and incorporating artificial intelligence into their usual business. So that is the impact, and it will not be a question that which company will use AI or not. In future, everyone will be using it. So it is very early stage right now, and you guys should also tap into this, and learn about the skills that are required to excel in this area. So one of the skills is like prompt engineering that we can discuss. So prompt engineering basically art of setting the context to get the best result. So you may know that you may be familiar with chat gpt, right? So there can be many ways to tell chat gpt to perform a task, right? So what is the best way? So that is what prompt engineering teaches us, how to write that perfect prompt which gives us the best results, right? And there are a different level of prompting, like zero shot prompting and one shot prompting. Zero shot means that you are not giving any new data to chat gpt. You are assuming that everything that I need for this particular task is known by the GPT. And one shot prompting is like you are providing one example, like translate English to Spanish, and you are also providing with one example, and then you are asking your question. So that is what prompt engineering is. And so next we have GPT. So GPT, if you don't know, the full form is a generative pre-trained transformers. Generative means it's generative in nature. It can generate text, it can generate images, videos, right? And it can be used for content creation also. And you can automate it. Many YouTubers nowadays have automated their channels, so they are sleeping, and bots are uploading videos and content on their YouTube pages, and they are making money out of it. So this is a complete business model right now. And pre-trained means that this GPT, which was introduced by OpenAI last year, it has been trained on around 170 billion data points, and it took a lot of months, because supercomputers were also involved. And transformers is basically the underlying architecture of the GPT. Next we can discuss about the alignment problem, which is faced by a lot of chatbots driven by AI. So this is basically the challenges that are caused by the fact that uh, machines do not have the values that us humans do, such as empathy, right? So there was a bot introduced by Microsoft. It was called Tay, and the day it was released, another day, the people saw that it became racist, right? So they had to shut it down. So there have been a lot of bots which were introduced by big companies like Microsoft, Facebook, but none of them come anyway near Chat GPT. So what was so special about GPT, that succeeded, right? So they took care of this alignment problem. So in their model they used truthfulness, etc. And the responses that it generates are very human like, right? So they have not entirely, I would say, that solved this problem. There is like but it has come very close to what humans would like a chatbot to be. So that is the difference between then versus now. And now we can talk about the applications in industry, right? So what will happen in 2024, and how will AI come into the picture? So a lot of application industry are content writing. It's a full-fledged role, right? So that person can use AI to write blogs around things and provide information. It is also very easy now to train your own model. Earlier, in around 2016 or 2015, you had to train your model with providing it a lot of data. Now you can train your model with only one PDF file. Like for example, there is a GPT online which is called Krishna GPT. So one person uploaded Bhagavad Gita, and now you can ask anything about Mahabharat or life, and Krishna GPT will give you the answer for it, right? So there are a lot of such application startups coming right now. AI can be used to analyze reviews and audio recordings. For example, you are talking with a customer care support at Amazon, and you get a message that your call is getting recorded, right? They play it out, and what happens to that, right? So who is listening to that conversation after it happened? So you can feed that conversation to AI and see what happens, right? Whether the feedback was positive or negative. How did the customer care just support hai? How did it handle your request? So these things can be analyzed using AI. You don't have to pay any person to sit and listen to that recording for thousands of hours. You can just feed that data and check how the you can categorize that recording into multiple scenarios. Next is writing emails. So one of the common functionalities which generative AI can do is write a very appropriate email based on your requirement. It can create presentations, and you can use ChatGPT as your personal assistant, or a diet planner, or a travel guide, and manage meetings. So you can learn about prompt engineering, and how to embed ChatGPT, how to fine tune your own model from a lot of resources. Like Shiksha online also has some of the resources around Chat GPT. You can use MOOCs like Coursera, edX, etc. And these resources can really help you moving forward. Also, I would suggest you to work on the tech stack that you are familiar with. Java is one of the coding languages which is used by most of the companies, and if you are familiar with it, you will definitely have a edge over other applicants for a job. And other tech stacks which are popular like MERN and React Native will also be very useful for your resume, right? So back to you, Niharika.
Yeah, so we have a question, that actually two questions. So okay, no, the both the questions are from different people, but the question is same. What role does cybersecurity play in upcoming technology industry in 2024?
Right. So cybersecurity, is around how you are using the technology to secure your systems and servers. There are a lot of attacks happening in real time on your server. So what will you do in that case? So cybersecurity comes into picture. If you have that training, if you have that knowledge, then you are a really you are a person who is reached out by companies to provide a solution for them. Because let's say someone from another country is bombarding your servers with a lot of requests, and your server is not able to handle it, right? So in that case, if you know how to work with technologies like nginx, apache server, which host these all of these applications, how you manage such things. So that is a skill which will really help in case of cybersecurity jobs.
Okay. We don't have any further question, but okay, so we are getting one question. Will we get a certificate for this webinar? You can just let us know. We can. I mean, usually certificates are not given out for these webinars since these are free to register. But if you need one, we can try to help you out. Although I um, won't be able to guarantee anything. But yeah, I am just sharing my email ID here. You can drop in an email and let me know your name and the webinar that you attended. Anyone else, if there is any question? Okay, we are getting a question. Does ChatGPT AI work in cybersecurity? How much of human involvement is present?
Right. So, involving AI, see, a lot of companies have actually banned ChatGPT because they are worried ChatGPT will consume their data, and there might be uh, security concerns related to ChatGPT. So, using ChatGPT to solve the security problem is something unique if you are able to crack it. But it can help a bit if you use it in a proactive manner. For example, you use it to understand about cybersecurity. And see, GPT is like a tool where you can have a chatbot like experience with someone who knows a lot of things. So using GPT as such in cybersecurity, I don't think there is such a precedence. But you can use it to learn about the cybersecurity and implement it in your organization.
Okay, I don't see any other question as of now. I am also just quickly launching a feedback poll here because I can see that there are quite a few people who are attending. Uh, please just let us know. Let us please give us your feedback of whether you found the session helpful and if you think that you want to recommend the session to your friends and peers. Also, I would also like to share the YouTube link for this particular session so that if you want to go back to the session and if you want to refer to it, you can do so on this particular YouTube link. Okay, someone has shared their name and email ID. I would request you to please email me on the email ID that I have shared on the chat window. All right, I think we have quite a few entries in the feedback poll. All right, so I'm just quickly ending the poll now. Thank you so much for sharing your feedback. Um, okay, I think we have another question that is again related to cybersecurity. Should we have to learn AI in the field of cybersecurity? Is what the question is.
No, no. Cybersecurity and AI are not interlinked with each other, but definitely AI can be embedded into cybersecurity for a more, aggressive approach. For example, a lot of jobs that are in cybersecurity, a lot of tasks that are performed by individuals on a day-to-day basis can be automated and can be done in a smart manner using maybe GPT or AI. So AI is about training some model and getting the machine to do your job. So you can definitely, if you can think about such a use case where AI can come into picture and make your job easier, that would be really good. But since we are talking about cyber security, and if we are going to expose AI to your front gates, for example, AI is your gatekeeper, right? So that becomes very bit dangerous and skeptical. So management or leadership could be skeptical around whether you should give that power to AI which you have trained on some limited data. So that is something you need to wonder upon.
Okay, so that brings us to the end of the session. I don't believe we have any more questions. Thank you so much to all the attendees who attended, and also thank you for being interactive, asking questions. And last but not the least, Aditya, very grateful to that because you sort of took out the time and came on board as a speaker for this session. I'm pretty sure that this must have helped a lot of people.
Right. Thank you so much, Niharika, for inviting me for this webinar, and thanks everyone for joining in.
All right, I'm just ending the session. We also have a positive comment. Thank you guys for your time and initiative. So, thank you so much for your feedback. We always appreciate positive feedback. So, yeah.